D.C. Hey, Alan Dershowitz.
Nice to see you. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Excellent.
Okay, Alan, we just heard, this is Joy, we just heard you argue in that clip that whatever John Bolton says doesn't matter.
Right.
You still don't think any of this is impeachable. But the only people who actually agree with you are on your defense team. And 75% of Americans want to hear from Bolton. So why should we listen to you?
Well, I made the constitutional arguments. My sole role in the case was to argue the constitutional issues. I would have been making exactly the same argument if Hillary Clinton had been elected president and if she had been impeached for abuse of power or obstruction of Congress. In fact, I started doing my research on impeachment and decided to write a book when Hillary Clinton was in the lead and it looked like she'd be elected and the Republicans were yelling, lock her up and impeach her. Indeed, we did a mock cover from my book, the original title of which was The Case Against Impeaching Clinton, Hillary Clinton. So I'm making exactly the same constitutional argument. I'm not arguing about witnesses. What I'm saying is the charge of obstruction of Congress and abuse of power are not within the constitutional terms, high crimes and misdemeanors. The framers rejected terms just like that. They rejected maladministration as a potential term. And maladministration is virtually the same as abuse of power.
All right, good. I was just going to ask you, say that according to what I'm reading, you're the only constitutional scholar who goes with that line. There is not one other who agrees with you. Not one.
Let me be very clear about that. In 1867, the dean of the Columbia Law School...
Alan, in 1492... Columbus sailed the seas of blue. But listen, I need us to move on. So you're saying now that you need a crime?
You're not going to get me to move on until I make this point.
Okay, well, here's the thing, Alan. You're not going to get any time because you got 4 people trying to ask you questions. And so I'm asking you to move faster.
I have to make this point. Shortly after the Constitution was enacted, the dean of the Columbia Law School said that the weight of authority was in favor of it being a crime. Now the academics all say it isn't. Why? Because Donald Trump is being impeached. If Hillary Clinton were being impeached, they'd all be on my side.
That's just baloney. That's just baloney.
Okay, are you done? Okay, so you're saying you need a crime or criminal-like behavior to impeach a...
That's right. That's not me. That's what the framers said of the Constitution.
So now I'm moving you on or I'm cutting you off. One or the other is going to happen. I don't want to make this contentious, but we only have several minutes. You're laughing. I've always been respectful to you, and you've always been respectful to me.
I'm very respectful to you.
Okay, so I need to move us on because, as I said, we have 4 people here who actually want to ask you things.
Sure, please.
So here's what you said in 1998 during the Clinton impeachment. Take a look at this clip.